and equal to the apostles is a special title given to some saints in Eastern Orthodoxy as well as in Byzantine Catholicism. The title is bestowed as a recognition of these saints' outstanding service in the spreading and assertion of Christianity, comparable to that of the original apostles. Below is a partial list of saints who are called equal to the apostles: Mary Magdalene Photine, the Samaritan woman at the well, Thecla, Abbessius of Hierapolis, Helena of Constantinople, Constantine the Great, Nino, baptizer of the Georgians, Miriam III of Iberia, first Christian Georgian monarch, Patrick of Ireland, Photios I of Constantinople, Cyril, Methodius, Boris I of Bulgaria, Olga of Kiev, Vladimir the Great, Stephen I of Hungary, Sava I of Serbia, Cosmas of Aetolia, Innocent of Alaska, Nicholas of Japan. Other usages of the term political, as George Ostrogowski relates, the insistence of pre-Christian Roman emperors on being worshipped as gods had always been a fundamental stumbling block for early Christians. Nevertheless, even with the advent of Christian emperors, of which Constantine the Great was the first, the sovereign's power maintained a distinctly divine flavor. Indeed, to use Ostrogowski's more strongly worded phrasing, the Roman Hellenistic cult of the sovereign lived on in the Christian Byzantine Empire in all its ancient glory. The Greek term for equal to the apostles, apostolos, was used in the late Roman Byzantine Empire to contribute to this divine imperial image. Constantine himself seems to have had this in mind when, according to Eusebius of Caesarea, he designed the Church of the Holy Apostles to be his tomb in Constantinople. The emperor consecrated with the desire of perpetuating the memory of the apostles of our Savior. He had, however, another object in erecting this building, an object at first unknown, but which afterwards became evident to all. He had in fact made choice of this spot in the prospect of his own death, anticipating with extraordinary fervor of faith that his body would share their title with the apostles themselves, and that he should thus even after death become the subject, with them, of the devotions which should be performed to their honor in this place. He accordingly caused 12 coffins to be set up in this church, like sacred pillars in honor and memory of the apostolic number, in the center of which his own was placed, having 6 of theirs on either side of it. Symbolism aside, modern scholars offer differing accounts as to whether Eusebius ever used the actual title of apostolos in reference to Constantine. John Julius Norwich maintains that, for the last few years of his life, Constantine had regularly used the title apostolos, though he does not cite a primary source. The New Catholic Encyclopedia states that Eusebius did refer to Constantine with this title, although it too does not cite a primary source. Aidan Nichols also shares this view, positing that Eusebius did indeed describe Constantine as apostolos, but that a later editor, or interpolator, had reduced his status to episkopos, equal to a bishop, so as to make Constantine seem more modest. In contrast to this, Jonathan Bardell states rather bluntly that our sources do not directly speak of Constantine as an equal of the apostles until the 5th century. This characterization was not without its problems, however, as alluded to above, though Constantine himself may very much have intended to be recognized as apostolos. Many theologians and churchmen were made uneasy at this prospect. As Gilbert Dagram explains, the difficulty was not necessarily that Constantine was unworthy, but rather that the title resulted in a very ambiguous mixing of church and state. Thus, when Cisomin deals with Constantine's funeral in his ecclesiastical history, he makes a point of saying that bishops were afterwards interred in the same place, for the hierarchical dignity is not only equal in honor to imperial power, power, but, in sacred places, even takes the ascendancy. In time, however, the soon-to-be sainted Constantine would nevertheless become firmly established as his apostolos, being enshrined as such in the Bibliotheca Hagiographica Graeca and other Byzantine literature. Indeed, in this capacity he proved to be an irresistible model for many later Byzantine rulers, who would regularly make use of the title as apostolos themselves, for political as well as religious reasons.